Alrighty. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. So my name is Daniel, and talk a little bit about fine-grained authorization and among others, Keycloak and AI application. So before we get started, how many people are actually familiar with the Quarkus or new Java framework? I know you were a Red Hat from. Yeah. Okay, a few. And how many people actually have some experience with the AI application? Not just using ChatGPT or Google Gemini. Literally develop AI application. Doesn't matter Java, Python. 0. I accept the challenge today. And one last question. How many people have heard about LangChain 4J? Okay. Oh, you're from Red Hat, right? Okay. Sounds good. All right. So my name is Daniel Oh. I'm from Red Hat. I'm based in Boston. I'm actually arrived last night from QCon, Hong Kong to China. I'm developer advocate and specialized like a cloud native runtime, like a Java, JavaScript, and like a Quarkus, Spring Boot. Yeah, I've been doing more than 30 years Java and specialized and bring more Java application into cloud and AI and serverless and security and so on. I'm Java champion and CNCF ambassador for a long time. And recently, CNCF reorg all tech group, like a technical advisory group. So we recently reorganized for the next 10 years. I'm part of the tech right now, the developer experience co-chair. So here is my social handler. There are so many Daniel all around the world. So I end up with the Daniel O number 30. So you can find me, you can Google me, and all social media, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, X, or YouTube, GitHub, whatever you want. Yeah, feel free to reach out to me for any question about this kind of stuff. Okay, so I have a few demos today. I'll jump into that. So we got some challenges today for security. So secure single application pretty much easier. Everybody already share great experience and example use case today. You can use like a single sign-on, or you can have a username, password nobody knows, and you have own like a 16 random generating password or some other stuff, access key. So there are many good practices and a solution how to secure one single application. But what if you could have multi-application, the discrete microservices, for example, AI application. So the reason we mentioned, I'm going to keep calling AI-infused application rather than AI-power, or AI-enable, or AI something XYZ, because the Java really infuse AI some stack and enable. So try to AI capably infuse Java application rather than the Java empower AI itself. So, and then you already legacy business application like a Java, and then rather than scaffolding new application from there, you probably needed to add a new capability into existing business application using AI capability. So why is it so hard to secure AI some infused microservices, specifically distributed system or ecosystem? There are a few bullet points you could probably understand already based this kind of stuff. Basically, now one single service is a multi-service. It could be 100, it could be 10,000 microservices around cloud, like a container or non-cloud, and a very complicated interaction among others application. And AI model fundamentally require very strict access control. So AI model, basically you have many sensitive information. And then you probably need to, you can ask any question, and you're pretty good at like a prompt engineering. You can maybe detour some guardrail, and you can ask some question, and you got some maybe illegal answer or some other sensitive information. So as the provider standpoint, you need to make sure you're not going to expose some sensitive information. And also, so not only AI application, but also any distributed system on the cloud, you also needed to consider multi-tenancy. So based on project, based on user, based on business application, whatever your criteria, you probably need the multi-tenancy. And also AI application also should be deal with the multi-tenancy as well. So how do we solve this challenge today? We have some core pattern probably using Keycloak, which is the best open source project. So you have you probably have a fine-grained authorization based on scopes and resources or permission. As for example, Keycloak Authorization Services is a really good solution to deal with fine-grained authorization implementation. And then you also need to handle with the token propagation. So you're gonna pass down your access tokens to third-party application. So that is kind of handled thing at the core pattern. Now, how do you do that? Quarkus also provide the token propagation feature, and then you can also maybe create the access token, the bearer, the authorization token for one microservices, and then you can also consider to have a custom policies. For example, like a script-based policy, custom policy, or you're gonna make some your own policy for based on external decision. So as I mentioned earlier, LangChain4j is kind of like a toolkit between your AI application and multi-models. So a lot of people actually maybe prefer JavaScript or Python to develop AI application. So how do you develop AI application? Basically, you need to access some model. Could be GPT-4o mini or O1 or DeepSeek R1. Whatever you choose the model, you have to access the model, and then you need to implement some of the capability, which is a RAG or prompt engineering or chaining, memory, and so on. So you don't want to build that kind of capability from scratch. You need to some framework or API library, like a start easier. That is some toolkit. That is a LangChain, basically from Python ecosystem. And then LangChain actually supports JavaScript too. And the Java doesn't have that kind of stuff. So Java people, hey, we need to find and need to something similar LangChain toolkit for Java-based AI application. That is a LangChain4j. The LangChain4j people inspired from LangChain, but not copy and paste, not fork, not like a downstream. It's a brand new, just inspire that capability and develop same most like application capability. And now they released a month ago the version 1.0, and then they're going to change the project name because a lot of people misunderstood. Oh, you actually copied from LangChain, but that's not true. So that's the LangChain4j. So LangChain4j also provide context-aware decision, like some support custom policy kind of stuff. And then secure your AI access for that. So here's just some bullet point. Basically, all AI model include sensitive information and data. Could be like a user, some personal information, like a passport number or a social security number, or your the phone number, or any kind of information could be stored and in a backend AI model. So in order to secure and access control, the access control for your AI application between AI model, you probably use a Keycloak resources based on permission, and or you can define your own laws and then matching to AI capability. So this AI just go to like a chain model, or this AI like instruction model, or this AI like a generate image or create a new video stuff. So whatever the old primary purpose of the AI model, you probably map to some law. For example, only like some authenticate user only generate specific content, rather than anyone can generate that content. Of course, there are some open protocol, MCP, modern context protocol. This is invented by Anthropic like almost half a year ago. And then because you have a lot of AI application from different program languages, Java, JavaScript, Python, .NET, also MO others, and then you have a multiple model. If you go to Hugging Face today, there are more than 1.7 million models right now. So it's really hard to find the right model for your AI application. And then AI application, not standard or not single application, multi-application should be communicated, and they should be communicated with a multi-model. models and the multi-tools. And then really hard to define and specify their own like a specification. So MCP provides some standard protocol, just like your USB-C port. Whatever you connect, plug in any external devices like a flash drive or audio, video, or thumb drive, and you can use USB-C port right now, and you cannot have any concern to use that. And the last, some consideration for AI application for security, and that is the multi-tenancy some strategy. So like a tenant context of propagation using like a JSON, because JSON, you can actually add some embedded some tenant ID into the JSON web token payload when the token generation. This is how do you and then the end application like your Java application just extract the payload and then just pick it up the tenant ID. Oh, this is a right tenant. I'm going to access that or authorize that. And the AI also model could be isolated for tenants. So like a cloud, okay, this tenant can only use this model. And then Keycloak also provided dynamic policy evaluation rather than static rules. You can actually define like a runtime based, in a runtime, like a context based over your request rather than static rules. And lastly, LangChain4j also provides some like a config isolation for tenants. So there are many kinds of stuff in a deep dive. For example, how do you add a tenant ID, your RBAC or your memory ID and your tenant context. There are many kind of ways because AI application not only just access the model and then ask a question. There are many underneath building blocks. So as the Java developer today, so how to make a building block for secure AI application, you probably know what kind of open source project I can use that. And basically, this is not a solid solution, just a recommendation. You can actually pick it up whatever you want. And then I'm going to just suggest Quarkus and LangChain4j and Keycloak and the model context protocol MCP. The reason why I showcase this 4 different project, but actually Quarkus already integrate the other 3 projects as more developer like experience standpoint. So I'm going to jump into demo real quick. We are running on time. So here is my demo architecture. So I have like a 2 Quarkus application. One is the AI services, which eventually generated the poem. Like I'm going, hey, give me write some poem with a fantastic, I'm bad writer. So that is usually you're going to ask some question to Google Gemini. And I'm going to use an AI model Google Gemini today. And then interesting part, actually, I have a similar demo 2 days ago in Hong Kong, and then Hong Kong in China, they didn't allow me to access any model out there, like some government policy. Anyway, and then so there are MCP, enable MCP, you have 2 pieces of a part. One is MCP client, the other MCP server. So whenever you go to you rely on some external tool, you're going to go through your application to client and server. This is like your USB-C port right now. So whatever you go to enable to tool, you don't need to directly go to tool. Instead, you just go through MCP client server, which is a more standard protocol. And then luckily, your Quarkus application have a played a role at the same time, application for AI, but also MCP client, like a cloud desktop. And then there are another Quarkus application allow you stand up your MCP server. And then we're gonna use like a OpenID Connect, using the get access token for GitHub, which is the most popular provider for developers. And then with that, once we log in GitHub and get an access token, and then that get access token allow you verify you are authenticate user. That authenticate user only can access AI model, not randomly access model. So that is some scenario. So I have here my IDE and two projects. One is client and one is server. So let me go to server first real quick. So this is a Java project, of course. And then, not this one. Okay, this one. So I used the Java 24, 24, and then the Quarkus project, we release a minor version every other week. So we actually released 3.22.3 yesterday. And some Maven dependency, which is one is that MCP server, which allowed me to run this application as server using SSE, the server center event. And then the other is OpenID Connect for GitHub authorization. And then we also use the database, like a JPA mapping, and using PostgreSQL. And go to application, put it simply. So here is my tool. So my tool, a simpler, very simple tool, username provider using security identify. So security identify is most likely you can use any tool in AI application. And then you can see that how to access AI application to tool. That is some kind of description, like a semantic description. Whenever user like a finger on keyboard in the user prompt, hey, so provide a username, something like that. Not exactly the same sentence, like a semantic way. And then this tool will be invoked by LLM. And then like you can describe username, but this one annotate like a permission allowed, like only read colon name permission. Once authenticated with that permission, user only call these tools. That's some security part of this how to secure and go to AI model. And then here's my database, because in order to meet the read colon name, the permission, I need to make sure first time I'm going to access the GitHub and then log in. And when I pass the login process, I probably get my access token, but that access token doesn't have any that permission because that read colon name is just a custom permission. So that's why I map my GitHub account and then that like a custom permission and store in my database. And then I'm going to combine and then to verify my authorization. And the last thing is I'm just augment the security identify permission augmenter. And then as I mentioned earlier, to connect to the database using Hibernate. And then last thing is I'm going to add the permission as a string with the GitHub account. So, and then go to like when I start my Quarkus application as a demo, you can see that this is the username from like a Maven parameter, which is my GitHub name, and I'm going to add a permission like a readable name. So when I start, so like a Daniel O with a parameter, and then it automatically actually running on PostSQL as a dev services as like a test container. Now you can see that PostSQL automatically start. And then I'm going to start the client also. The client source is pretty much simple rather than server. It's pretty much similar MCP and RankChain-PostA, Maven dependency, and then I'm going to use Google Gemini model. You can use the OpenAI or even your local model Llama. And then this is the MCP client authorization, communicate with your GitHub token. And then Quarkus GitHub token, GitHub authorization as well. And then I have a simple UI, which is a Quarkus Q template engine. And then source code is much easier, like two resources. One is a login. So I'm going to go to login first here. I'm going to go to login page, and you can see the simple HTML login poem services. And then I'm not going to GitHub directly because I already created GitHub auth application, and then to generate secret and token key. And then that's why I'm going to go to my property file, and you can see that here my GitHub authorization applications, client ID, and credential secret. I already print on that, just skip that kind of stuff. And then here's the Google Gemini configuration. I'm gonna just trade out all responsive guest logs and then Google Gemini API key. And so this is my MCP server target point. It's a local host for 8081 because I run my application server using 8081 port here. So default port is 8080. So then go back to, and the other one is a POEM services, which is once I pass through my login process using the GitHub, and then it really invoke the POEM application. That is enter my HTML. Once you're done, and then you're gonna actually go to POEM URL. So POEM URL here, this is a really AI application. So AI application just annotate register AI services, which allow your plain interface to make AI services. And then here is my usual message, like write a poem. I'm not gonna type in today to save my time. So write one short paragraph poem about Java program language, some stuff. And then this only using MCP toolbox, this is allowed this AI services, red LLM, you're gonna use the tool going through MCP. That's it. So when I log in POEM services, it call my GitHub based on my client ID and secret, which is from Daniel O, because when I go to my GitHub, so my name is GitHub. In this application, you can find the URL as well. So, and I already created the GitHub Auth application as well. And then when I read the poem, this is a literally call AI stuff. When I go back to IDE and then go to here in the client, you can see that the REST client call, and then here just some my usual name provided actually MCP tool invoked. And then when I go to server, you will see that it's literally communicate with the Google Gemini because this is an authenticating user. So if I don't have any authenticate by login by GitHub, and then I'm not gonna ask the Google Gemini my AI model. So I'm gonna go back to here. Oh, I got some error. Very interesting. Okay. Let me try to restart one more time. I just tried that in 1 hour ago, but it works totally. Oh. Okay. POEM service and POEM. Oh, okay. That's weird. Okay, anyway, so I'm gonna fix that right after thing. We are running out of time, so I'm gonna finish. And then we have a few summary and takeaway. So one is, so whenever you try to secure your application, just simple microservices, not simple microservice, more AI application. So you think about how to make it better, just beyond just rollback control with the Keycloak Authorization Services. And the Quarkus LangChain project is pretty easier for Java developer to build AI-infused microservices. And then whenever you secure like a service to communication, and then MCP is one of your go-to tool and protocol to build more easier and a standard way to create like a more agentic way. And the last thing is multi-tenancy. I didn't show any multi-tenancy demo today, but as you mentioned earlier, like a multi-tenancy, there are many different ways you can achieve, like a dynamic policy from Keycloak, or you can also LangChain 4J, like a context-aware decision. And then there are many different ways to you set tenant ID into your memory ID, your model, or you can add that kind of stuff in the web, JSON web token as an embedded ID as a payload, and then you can put in like a RAG. You can also have a separate AI model for separate application separate application running on separate tenant. So that's it, and I'm gonna stick around the QCon Japan next Monday and Tuesday, and Red Hat booth as well. So if you have any question after that, and feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions?